In this video, we're going to be covering the basic stances of TKD, your beginning stances. White belt. You guys ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to demonstrate the first one. It's called the front stance. From a ready or Junbi position, upon command, I will step back into the front, right leg front stance. And then return to ready position. Now I'll do it from the side so you can see it. From the back. And from the other side. Now let's talk about some basic characteristics of this stance. Violet, would you please step forward for me? I want you to face this wall for me right here. On my command, I want you to execute a right leg front stance. Think you can do that?
Yes,
All right, here we go. Hey!
Yep.
Good. Let's talk about the basic characteristics of this stance. Notice the back is straight, the hips are square. They're not turned into 45. They're just like this right here, right? The back leg is locked, and the back foot is turned forward. You don't want it out like this, like a duck, right? The front knee is going to be bent just slightly enough to where you can't see your big toe, just the very tip of it from the edge of that knee. Okay? That make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, ready position, man. You may return. Thank you. Okay. Now I have to put your hands on your hips, and I'm going to give you instructions. Step number one, you're going to step back with your left leg. Because if it's a right leg front stance, then the right leg will be forward, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to put our hands on our hips. Step one, you're going to step back. Step two, you're going to make sure your front knee is bent. Step three, make sure your back leg is locked. Step four, make sure your hips are square. Step five, make sure your back is strong, your posture is good. And ready position, bring your left leg forward. Now, a couple of things we want to pay attention to when we do the front stance is a proper depth and width. The depth of your stance is how far back your stepping foot steps backwards. Your width of your stance is going to be how far apart your feet are, right? So we don't want to step at an angle and wind up like this. We want to think step back and out to that certain area where we have a good solid balance. Because if our stance is too narrow, we'll have no balance. And if our stance is too shy or shallow, we won't have any balance this way. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through those numbers together. Here we go. 1, step back. 2, bend the front knee. 3, lock the back leg. 4, square the hips. 5, good posture. Be ready position. All right, now I'm going to count. You're going to do the movements. Understand these directions?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Hands on your hips. 1, step back. 2, make sure the front knee is bent. 3, lock the back leg. 4, make sure your posture is strong. Be ready position. Now, who could tell me the difference between a right leg front stance and a left leg front stance? Oh, Mr. Music, let's see what you got.
Right leg front stance, right leg is forward. The left leg stance, the left leg.
This man is a genius. Even though he touched the wrong leg, he's still a genius. He is absolutely correct. On a right leg front stance, your right leg will be forward. In a left leg front stance, your left leg will be forward. Good job, man. Everybody give me a round of applause. Okay, so now we're going to still continue to work on the right leg front stance, but I'm going to key eye and see if you can step into that stance without going through those numbers. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Hands on your hips. Here we go. On my command. Hey! Oh my goodness, I only heard one key off from the 3 students I have on this floor. At home, I hope you're key on when you do your techniques, because when we come back to class, you don't key on, you're mine. Ready position, let's try it again. Hands on your hips.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was almost impressive. That was almost impressive. Jubi. Hands on your hips, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, now that sounded like a martial arts class. I'm very proud of every one of you. It can be taught. Okay, here we go. Jubi. Now, we're going to, ooh, I step on the light. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Now, we're going to switch it to a left leg front stance. So who can tell me which leg we're going to step back with? Violet Rose.
Your right leg, sir.
Your right leg, because that will leave your left leg where?
In the front.
In the front. The boy can be taught. All right, here we go. Hands on your hips. On my command, you're going to execute a left leg front stance. Understand these directions.
Yes, sir.
Ew!
Yep.
Oh my gosh, Aiden, your other left. Son, your other left. There you go. Ready position. Let's try it again. Now that Aiden has decided which side is his left and which side is his right, we'll be ready to go. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
Hands on your hips. Hey!
Yep.
Outstanding. Now, everybody stay right where you're at. Now, Aiden has a very good depth on his stance, but his width is very narrow. So if I could do this right here, look where he just put his foot. That's probably where it needs to be to maintain a good balance. Now, bend that front knee now. Now, look at the difference. Look at that. See how he has better balance this way? This stance is supposed to be very, 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 very strong, very, 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 very strong. Like a tree trunk, right? All right, ready position. All right, here we go. All right, hands on your hips. Right leg front stance. I said right leg. Hey! Jubi. Left leg front stance. Jubi.
Yep.
Good. Jubi. Outstanding. Yep. Kunye. Jubi. And if my cameraman was at the camera, instead of taking class with you right now, this would be over.